Before I install the spotting top, I need to install the forward leg of the tripod mast. But to install the forward leg, I need to also install a platform that goes between the three legs of the tripod mast. This platform, however, will not be used. It is going to be replaced with photo etch. The photo etch platform comes from the FlyHawk Super Detail Upgrade Kit and will look like this once constructed and installed. The photo etch platform comes in 4 parts, the base with hand railings and 3 support struts. This photo etch doesn't look very complicated. I think the most complicated part of it is going to be putting the curve onto these sections of hand railing. Once I have the hand railings folded up, I'll attach it to the mast and then install the braces. Once that's done, everything can be painted in black and then it can be installed onto the superstructure.
To begin, I need to remove the platform from its fret so that I can fold up the handrails. At the front of the platform is a rod that sticks out. That is not going to survive this process. It's very delicate and it's going to get in the way of things, especially when I try to put it through the tripod mast. So I'm not going to try overly hard to preserve it. As for the bending of the handrails themselves, that could potentially be a problem while they are still attached on one side to the platform. If them being attached to the platform does make folding too difficult, I will remove them in their entirety and then fold them separately and then reinstall them. But before I completely remove them, I'll give it a go and try and fold them while attached to the platform. To curve the handrails, I use the shaft of a screwdriver. It's a matter of finding a cylinder that's slightly smaller than the diameter of the circle that you're trying to fit. Once the photo etch has been bent, it will spring back a little bit. That is why you want a slightly smaller diameter than what you're trying to fit. Once I have the handrail bent roughly to the right shape, I hold it in place with my fingers and then glue it down using extra thin super glue that I apply to the edge using a wire. This hand railing is very thin, which makes it very delicate. I think it would have actually been better to just remove these sections of railing from the platform and then bend them separately and then reinstall them. Having the platform connected makes this a lot more difficult. It becomes much more difficult to properly fold and align the edges of that hand railing. Once the curved handrails are bent and glued in place, I then fold up the sides on the straight edge and glue it in place using extra thin super glue. While folding the handrails, I did damage them a bit. It was very difficult to find a place to hold this component, and these rails are very thin and delicate, so they're very easy to damage, unfortunately. But that's not too bad. I was able to straighten them out fairly well, and this is a component that is going to be painted in black, and that's a bit of a saving grace here, because black is going to make it very difficult to see these kind of defects anyway. Nevertheless, I get it in as good a shape as I can, and then I glue the platform to the mast. The platform is glued in place using extra thick super glue, and then in that notch where there would have been the plastic component, I then fill it up with more extra thick super glue. Once the super glue has dried, I then sand off the excess and then install the braces. The underside of this platform will also be painted in black. That once again means that it is a more forgiving area in the shortcuts that you can take. One of the issues that I had with these triangular braces is that the corner that butts up against the mast and the bottom of the platform, it was kind of getting obstructed on glue and bits and pieces that were left in the corner. It's quite difficult to dig them out perfectly, especially into the groove on the photo etch where this brace is actually supposed to sit. Because this is going to be painted in black and because it's not going to be easy to see into this area, I decided what I would do is simply cut the corner off of the brace. That meant I could push the braces right up into the corner so they could make good contact with the mast and underside of the platform. Since I had cut out the corner, there would be a small gap in the corner between the mast and the underside of the platform, so I filled that gap with extra thick super glue. If this wasn't black, that would be something that would actually be visible, but in this case, you're not going to see it. It is going to be very, very difficult to see into this area of the ship. So I think it's an acceptable shortcut. As for the rest of the lengths of the contact areas between the braces and the platform and the mast, I reinforce that with extra thin super glue that I apply with a wire. After the glue has dried and after a bit of removal of excess super glue, I then paint the whole structure in XF1, that is black. Well, almost the whole structure, just the base is going to remain in XF53, which is the color of Hood's superstructure. The mast can now be installed, and this is where having that rod that sticks out the back of it would be quite complicated. The problem that I have is because I installed all the details at the front of this superstructure on the forward air defense platform, it's actually quite obstructed for me to get this mast into position with this platform attached to it. And it had to come down at quite a steep angle. It was a bit awkward. But once it's on the platform, it is quite easy to position. As you can see, there isn't a lot of space for it to move, just trying to carefully position it so that it is standing vertically. Also, because of how I've modified the Starfish platform, I don't actually have to worry about how it is going to sit on top of this tripod mast. The only thing that's going to locate it is the forward mast, and then it's just going to sit loosely on top of the back legs. Well, obviously I'll glue it down, but it's not going to be something that I need to consider while I'm installing the forward leg of the tripod mast. Once I have the mast correctly positioned, I glue the forward mast to the top of the rear legs of the tripod mast in place using extra thin plastic cement. I also apply extra thin plastic cement to the base of the forward leg of the tripod mast where it makes contact with the upper air defense platform. Now that all the legs of the tripod mast are installed, I can finish up with the details on the upper air defense platform. There were just 2 ADOs that need to be installed. I tack them in place using extra thick super glue, and then I apply extra thin super glue to the underside to firmly bond them in place. Now that the mast is installed, I just need to touch up the paintwork. A bit of damage got done to the paint while applying glue, but that's all very easy to touch up. Once the paint is touched up, the installation of the tripod mast legs are installed. At some points it did seem a bit rough, especially with installing this curved hand railing on this small platform, but in the end I think it's turned out well. I haven't reinstalled the rod that sticks out of the back of the platform. I'm concerned that I'll just break it off if I do install it at this point, especially with the work that needs to be done to install the spotting top. So I'll just leave it off for now, and in the next video I will install the spotting top. If you would like to support this channel or see how this ship looks when it is completed, then please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Cheers.